Bitcoin is whatever it's at right now. I know as soon as I click upload, everything could change in the blink of an eye. Could fall further when I click upload, or it could pump just to spite me. Well, that would be bad. I know red isn't a pleasant color to see. I get it. But the numbers should still be. Here's CoinMarketCap from 1 year ago. Let's have a look at these prices. $1,000 Bitcoin. $12 Ethereum. A half-cent Ripple. A couple buck Litecoin. You get a Dash Masternode. But back to reality. Bitcoin is retracing and retesting lows since we jumped up from 6K. I feel the only reason we potentially bounced up from 6K was because of the amazing SEC hearing news. If it wasn't for them, potentially we could have gone even lower.
The Twitter universe, you'll see a phrase HODL, which means hold on for dear life. And the thinking is that they buy it and hold it. In fact, I mentioned in my opening remarks my 30-year-old niece who bought Bitcoin years ago, and she's an HODL. She says, I'm going to own it. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I want to hang on to it.
Is that news good enough to last more than a week? I thought so. But if we do bounce back from that, from this right now, I think we're in a good position in future. Although, you know what I'm about to say, not financial advice. Google search trends is waning for Bitcoin. Look at this. Interest seems to be at an all-time low since November of last year. That's Bitcoin. Let's check Ethereum. Pretty much the same story, but even worse for Ethereum. But now for what you're really interested in. Search terms for crypto daily. All over the place. Doesn't look like I was very popular on Valentine's Day. Not that interesting? All right, how about some technical analysis? Now, if we study these charts, I am seeing a red line upwards here. So that looks pretty good. Nano is still pretty much the only gainer of today. It's rather interesting that it's still done very well day 2 into this dip. It was pretty much everyone on the sidelines wondering when to jump into this falling landslide. And then when someone does, everyone else piles in. That's what's happened. This counts as your daily tree. The next Venezuelan petro. That ICO is so yesterday anyway. Iranian minister reveals cryptocurrency plans. Excellent.
Exactly.
So Iran getting in on the action now. Now I would say we don't know what the effect is going to be to have these countries embrace crypto like this with their own centralized versions in the long run. But the fact that it's being pursued by two nations which are both under US financial and economic sanctions doesn't bode too well. It's not a good look. And in altcoin news, Litecoin Cash starts trading. The volume's terrible, but it is still only on Yobit. Not a recommendation to buy, though. I love the meme, but not so much the coin. So every month, Binance, I believe, is asking the community which coin it would like to see listed next on their exchange. Currently, we have 2 days left of their voting to see which coin gets listed next. At the moment, it's a little bit of a tight race between two contenders, but as of right now, as of filming, We Power is leading with 31% of the votes. We Power, if we take a look at it, actually almost got into this ICO, I believe. I didn't end up going for it. It was probably a bad decision. Tokens allegedly backed by green energy. As you can see, it's doing pretty well despite this dip, probably because of people in the know and expecting a Binance listing pump. The volume is nothing to scoff at $11 million, and it is currently a rank 174 coin. Now, the interesting thing is if we have a look at the second place, Elastos with 24% of the voting. We have a look here. Didn't dip at all during this market dip. You can see pretty much steady growth the entire time. And if you have a look at the volume, you can see why. Nearly $100 million in 24-hour volume. Absolutely insane. We don't know the circulating supply. It's estimated to be between 6 to 9 million. So a conservative figure would put it at around a rank 50 or rank 40 coin. All of that volume, surprisingly, is from one single exchange, Huobi Pro, I believe. If you're wondering if this coin still has room to grow, I will leave this Medium post below. It's rather an interesting read. One thing that did pop out at me was sponsorship of over 200 million RMB from the Foxconn group. And if you have a look at who Foxconn is, this is from Wikipedia. multinational electronics contract manufacturing company. Foxconn is the world's largest contract electronics manufacturer and the fourth largest information technology company by revenue, one of the largest employers worldwide. They manufacture products for the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Sony, you name it. Massive. Although it could be one of those things where it's like IBM. They sponsor anything and everything. But definitely looks interesting. And on to news about IOTA. The chief digital officer of the Volkswagen Group puts out a singing praises tweet about IOTA. Weird time to send it out. Potentially not too well versed in the crypto world. If he was trying to cause a pump, it was a bad time, but maybe he wasn't. Now I've got a confession to make. I used to work for a bank a few years ago. Head office at RBS. Yeah, I'm sorry. But if your opinion of me just fell through the floor, give me a second chance. In my defense, when I first learned about crypto, I was super interested because I already had a large distrust of the banking sector. Pretty much as my knowledge of Bitcoin grew, my already low trust in the banking system went further. They went hand in hand. I don't see Bitcoin as just tech. I see it as a replacement to... Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. So there's a law that recently got passed in Europe called the Payment Services Directive. Essentially what this means is that all the giant, well-oiled machine banks that are established and are just getting fatter, as of this year, I believe, are forced to share their APIs with others. So what this means is it could significantly cut the cost of entry for other businesses trying to open up their own banks, make it a bit more decentralized. Seems like a job for the blockchain if you ask me. I've been looking at 47 bank ICO for a little while now. I know that a lot of you in the comment section when I last asked wanted to see more ICO stuff. It was overwhelmingly yes. So going to try and make that a bit more of a regular thing. It's difficult for me because it's an ICO, but there, I will try and do it. Not an endorsement or recommendation to buy, an objective overview of what they're trying to achieve. Please always do your own research. This is the website. It looks like every other ICO out. But essentially what they are trying to achieve is, interestingly, off the back of this European law, they want to create a platform for these types of services. So imagine the App Store for Apple. Theoretically, any developer should be able to upload their own APIs to the platform and gain access to the existing infrastructure that 47 Bank is going to create. Customers too apparently will be able to use this infrastructure and gain access to all of their bank accounts, even if their bank accounts are with different banks, going to connect them, be able to send money to and from, but also have access to their cryptocurrency and other investments in one platform. At least that's what they're going for. They also plan to help businesses integrate smart contracts as another thing. So quite a lot. It seems like a lot of trust that's needed if you're going to have all of your important assets tied to one platform. But if they can do it in a decentralized way, in a trustless way, that could be really huge. But what is the currency for? So in order for developers to upload their apps to the App Store and for businesses to use their services to integrate smart contracts, they need to pay using this currency. It won't be Bitcoin, Ethereum. Pretty much like every other ICO, in order to be a part of the ecosystem, you need to use their cryptocurrency. I used to think, why not just Bitcoin, Ethereum? But no, it makes a lot of sense. And as an incentive to hold the tokens, token holders receive dividends off profits through what's known as the loyalty program. Now, I kind of do like chipping off some ether during dips. The reason being is that ICOs are pegged to a certain price. So say, for example, an ICO started in January. It says, okay, Ether is $1,000. We'll price our coins according to 1,000 Ether. And then if Ether tanks 50%, essentially you get a 50% off bonus for the ICO. Not quite there. ICOs come with their own risks anyway. Please do your own research before you invest into anything, especially ICOs. Speaking of, did you invest in the Tezos ICO? You may finally be getting your coins soon. Targeted for a February release. I think they're going to try and be on schedule. we might actually get those coins. If I can imagine what the markets are gonna look like, I would say maybe not so much for Tezos, but for Wan Chain, especially when it hits the market soon. This is what I expect. Be very careful about buying the first day at a really, really high price. By high, I mean way higher than what people paid in the ICO. Maybe it's a good decision, or maybe that could be an EOS type decision where people were buying it for $5 the day it hit the markets, and then it went down to 50 cents for quite a while. But could be wrong. Could go through the moon. But thank you for all of the likes on the last video. Much appreciated. It does help me out. And as one person said on the last video, bring back the abrupt end